There we go. We're live. And look, the only reason I say come on, hang out, don't fuck up, because they fuck up constantly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to UFC 204 pre-fight show presented by Crossroads MMA. My name is Eddie Law. Of course, we got Fred Kirby from Dayton, Ohio. We got Mr. Dave Rodriguez from ABQ, New Mexico. And, of course, you've heard of this man many times. We talk about him all the time. We finally got him. He finally got us stuff to work. Got him on here. Andrew Reid out of the UK. How you doing, my friend?
If you talk about me all the time, you need to sort your life out.
All the time when we talk on the show, my friend. That's what I'm saying.
I'm fine, thanks, ladies.
That's a good point. No Jesse tonight. Got family obligations, so he's doing his thing, and so we're gonna miss him tonight. So again, UFC 204. This is actually tomorrow for everyone in the States. Tonight for Andrew. So it's tonight.
Well, no, I'll get on to why it's tomorrow in a minute, and I'll moan about that as well.
Yeah, there you go. But whenever I bitch about like when Bellator, is like 8 hours or 4 hours ahead, he reminds me it's 8 days for them. So I can't say too much shit anyway. All right, kicking off the UFC Fight Pass prelims, we got Leonardo Santos against Adriano Martins, a lightweight bout. Dave, you're big into Martins there. What do you think about this fight?
Yeah, it's a great fight to start this card off. Adriano Martins is one of those we refer to him, or I say it a lot of time on the shows. Just a KTB, just a known tough bastard, man. So his only setback has been Donald Cowboy Cerrone. He's the number 18th ranked guy in the world at lightweight. So I think Leonardo Santos is coming off a pretty big layoff. He's ranked number 34 world currently right now. So it's good matchmaking. Two Brazilian cats. I mean, it's pretty much like a 69-31 favorite here, me for Adriano Martins. And I think he's pretty much the slight or moderate favorite in this fight, Martins. But look for a pretty fantastic fight to start the night off. And I mean, we're one fight short. We know the Rob Font fight dropped off. So this fight should kick things off rather nicely. So I do got Adriano Martins, more than likely by decision. I think it'll be an exciting 3-round fight, though.
Oh, definitely. These two cats that can throw down. And, and two Brazilians fighting in the UK, Andy, I mean, do you think the crowd's going to even know what the hell, like, who these guys are?
Well, firstly, I want to say one thing. Mm-hmm. Dana White, fuck you, you cunt. It's a UK card. It's a UK champion. And it's on at fucking 5 o'clock in the morning when they're supposed to come on. Fuck you and all you fucking little warriors that you came in on you, and take the coke out your ass and fuck off. Yeah, no, they won't have any clue what's happening with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu over there, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know what? If I had to go watch UFC at 5 in the morning, I'd probably cut Dana White out too. That's some bullshit. But Kirby,
what's a fucking arsehole?
What's that, Kirby?
You're lucky you're getting a fucking card. You're real fucking lucky you guys got a champion. You can, because that shit's coming to an end too. Just drink your ale and stay up all night. Who's going to win the fight?
It's finished.
No, not yet.
Which one are we on about now?
The first one still. We haven't gone past that.
The first one, yeah. It took me a minute. Martins, the aggressive striker versus Leonardo Santos. Who the fuck did he fight last? Talis Latus?
Which one? Santos.
Does that work?
I'm finding that right now.
No, Santos' last fight was Kevin Lee. He fought on the Aldo McGregor with UFC 194.
Yeah, Martins.
Yeah, I'd reluctantly go that way with you as well, to be honest. But if it does become a bit of a Brazilian jiu-jitsu sort of fight, or a Brazilian style fight, I don't think the Manx are going to understand it too much, to be honest. They're baying for blood is what they're after, and they're going to be after it all night from fight to fight. So you might see a little bit of a Brazilian reaction to when things get a bit slow out there.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, Dave, do you have the card up?
Yeah, I got it up.
Yeah, go ahead. What's the next fight? Because my shit just went down.
Sorry, yeah. To move on next to a pretty exciting fight here. I mean, we all know about Mike Perry. Came on the scene over the summertime. Had earned a nice knockout win over Donghu or Lim, right? So we earned that victory over
Hungyu Lim.
Yeah, big bastard at that weight class. So Mike Perry was a big underdog in that fight. I did pick him to win. I think he's a very interesting character. I mean, he's got a tough task here fighting Danny Roberts, Blackzilian cat. So both these guys are Florida-based fighters, Blackzilians. I think Mike Perry's out of Orlando, ATT Orlando there. So he's 8-0 guy. He's undefeated fighter. So Platinum Mike Perry, man, going in Manchester, it's a real tough task for him. I think we're in store for a real exciting bout. What's his name? Danny Roberts is only got one loss on his record, and I think it was I think it was back in not in the UFC. He's undefeated in the UFC, and it'll be his third UFC fight, Danny Roberts. So looking forward to seeing what plays out here, because Mike Perry, if he is able to earn a win in impressive fashion here in Manchester over a UK guy like Danny Roberts, I think puts him in the right place. And coming off some of his recent interviews, I like what Platinum Perry is saying. He's an authentic guy. He kind of lives in the moment. He's living his dreams. So I think I'm going to have to go with Platinum Mike Perry for sure in this fight. I think he gets the job done. I think by probably a violent KO, I think he's capable of it even though he's up against a tough guy in the Hot Chocolate Roberts.
And like in this fight, first of all, did Mike Perry get in trouble, or his corner get in trouble for that shit that he said in the last fight about he can't see, like, friggin' racist ass quote? Anyone know?
No,
I don't think so. I think it's
nothing official.
Just stuff like the online people just pissed as fuck about it, and then he's kind of said it in a recent interview that he apologizes. You know what I mean? It's something where they kind of take things out of hand, in which he said he doesn't like to deal with the media a lot because they just take things way out of control. And with Mike Perry, they did take that pretty harshly though as well.
Or maybe you just say awful shit and people take it as it sounds, motherfucker. Like, what are you talking about? Dude, all right, he's going to get mad at me. Yeah, eat a dick. All right. Let's move on to the next one here. Actually, real quickly, because we're going to go through some of these fights no one else. What?
Go fuck yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Perry.
Now I'll give my fucking opinion of the fight.
Sure.
I'll tell you what I fucking think. I think Mr. fucking Hot Chocolate is going to get smoked. I think that fucking Mike Perry is going to knock that dude out in the first round, because I tell you what, I was relatively high on Hung Yu Lim. As a matter of fact, I was very high on Hung Yu Lim, and he flat snuffed his big ass out. So if he can knock that motherfucker out, if he can knock him out, I think he's going to fucking cut through, goddamn it, Mr. Hot Chocolate like a hot knife through butter. Aren't you English? Do you got the balls to pick the Englishman in this one?
I don't care who Mike Perry's fighting. I just want somebody to knock his teeth out the back of his fucking skull, the racist bastard.
But do you think Hot Chocolate's the man to do it?
No.
Oh, sorry.
He's favored in the fight. Danny Roberts is the favorite, not by much. Minus 135, slight favorite. So it's a pretty close match.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
What does he have, like a good ground game or something?
There we go. Listen, it's time to bet the house on that one, Andrew.
I don't bet.
Unless you know what? Unless Kirby puts up his ponytail or his man bun.
Hey,
listen, this is where my power resides. That ain't on the line.
Well, you might as well cut it off then, because you haven't fucking got any.
Of course I do. So you seen these things?
Whatever, dude. Hey, fucking like 100-some likes on Instagram don't mean shit. All right. Anyway.
Hey, close to 200 does. All right.
No,
it doesn't, Fred. Seriously, it doesn't.
I wish Aaron was on right now. He would piece you up for saying there's some shit like that.
Oh man, Aaron can kiss my ass too. He can go blow a vape cloud through a pig's ass.
So I take it, Eddie. You got Hot Chocolate Roberts, or you're going against Perry, right?
I'm not going against Perry. I'm picking Perry.
You got Perry. Okay.
That motherfucker. Like.
So we all picking Perry.
Pretty much. All right. Yeah. All right. All right. Next fight up, we got Poland against the Democratic Republic of. I'm assuming the Congo here. Is that where he's from, Mark?
Democratic Republic of Congo, yeah. One of those wonderful countries that's got democratic in its name, and it isn't democratic, but yeah.
Yeah, very true. We got Lucas Szajewski against Mark Diakis. Is his debut fight for both guys, Dave?
It's going to be Szajewski is coming off a loss to Gil Burns, I believe, over the summertime. So it's his third UFC fight. I think he's competed in the US. That was his first US fight against Burns. He lost that fight via submission in the first round, late in that first round. So yeah, the other guy, Dikesi, is a Bama champion at 155. So he is making his debut.
All right, Fred. Any thoughts on this one, Fred? You want to get your opinion in? Fuck.
Nope.
There you go. All right. Real quick on the YouTube comments, we got Minion Mac saying UK represent. He's happy Andy's on here. And then Mike Jarv says, there goes the neighborhood. Put him in his place, Fred. Oh, come on. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting show, I'll tell you that much. All right. Andy, anything on this one?
Go for the Congolese guy.
There you go.
He's fighting out of Doncaster, South Yorkshire, England is where his fighting camp is.
South where?
South Yorkshire. I guess it's Alderton Submission Wrestling is the gym.
Yeah, Yorkshire, not Yorkshire.
Okay.
There you
Yorkshire.
go, man.
Easy English, easily. With
You're
the
on my territory
pedophiles,
now.
we
You're in
get
my
it.
territory now. This is my country they're fighting in, so fuck off.
And he's like,
We
"You're
get
my
it.
country,
You guys,
say it right."
you guys invented the English language. We get it. Jesus.
Oh man! All right, moving on to a welterweight bout: Leon Edwards against Albert Tumanov. We've seen both of these guys knock motherfuckers out. Andy, what do you think about this one?
Gonna go for Leon Edwards on this one.
All right, Dave.
Simple as that. It's just
Hands thrown, man.
He can throw a punch, and I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a very long fight either. I think it's going to be over pretty quickly.
It's an interesting fight. I mean, Albert Tumanov. I mean, when's his last time he competed? It was against Gunnar Nelson, right? His first loss in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a little while since he's been in there. He's a 24-year-old cat, young Russian cat. Like Jesse was here, we always talk about it. Anybody with a Maf or a Naf or anybody at the end of their name, they're just known tough bastards. So Albert Tumanov is one of those guys. In this fight, he is the moderate favorite, in which a lot of people have him heavily favored. But I think Leon Edwards is a tough guy. I think it'll be a real competitive fight here. Not an easy win for Albert Tumanov, and I think pretty close here. I think Leon Edwards could have the edge up on the standing game. I mean, he's coming off a unanimous decision over Dominic Waters. That took place on the Overeem Orlovsky card, which has an overseas card as well. So been a little while for him since he's been in there. I think he comes out fresh, and we see a competitive bout here. I got Albert Tumanov probably by could be a late stoppage or a decision, but I got Tumanov either way.
All right, Kirby.
Yeah, I like Albert Tumanov too in this fight. I'm glad that Andy went the other way on this one. I think this is the first fight that we disagree on. So that's fucking lovely.
Yeah, it won't be the
Just
last.
gonna get that ass whooped.
It won't be the last fight. And I'm taking Leon Edwards too, man. I think Leon Edwards lands a nasty punch, ends this dude's night early. All right, on the bantamweight division, Davey Grant, which of course you remember from the tough 20 season, I believe he was on Ronda's team, and him actually getting a bye to the final and crying about it for some reason. I don't remember. The guy that he's supposed to fight missed weight awfully, and he still got to the final.
Yeah, we don't remember that, Eddie. We don't.
Exactly. That's why I said, in case you don't remember, I told you what it was.
I forgot that there was even guys on that season.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It sucked. I mean, even this season's surprisingly good. This tough 24 has been actually surprisingly good. But other than that,
it's way too late, baby. The magic is gone at this point. It's like that old bitch that finally starts acting right about 3 years late. Nah, bitch. It's too late.
Oh, man.
Well, not apparently to you it isn't, because you'll shuffle up with anything.
Well, of course I'd still throw her a fuck, but I'm not giving her a chance. That shit's over.
Yeah, he ain't gonna kiss her. How's that? Yeah, he's taking on Damian Stasiak, 9-3, Polish dude. 9-3. When's the last time he fought, Dave?
His last it was he fought on the fight night, Rothwell and Dos Santos. He has a submission win in the first round over Filip Pecic, and he's basically a guy who's competed on, or he's been on all overseas international UFC cards. This being the next one. His other loss in the UFC was to Yatsen Meza, so he's 1-1 in the UFC. Previously a competitor in Bama. So it's pretty much he's got to really show up here and earn his keep in the UFC, especially against a guy like Davey Grant, tough guy. I think I'm favoring Stasiak. I think in this fight, I think he's pretty much the underdog here. I think I'll go with the underdog Stasiak. He's ranked number 97 in the world in that weight class. Davey Grant's number 64, so kind of gauge where the matchmaking is with this one. But younger guy, 26-year-old guy, Damian Stasiak. I'd have to go with him more than likely I think he's capable of submitting Davey Grant, but I think it'll be a fight where you'll see it go everywhere. And I got Davey Grant by submission, second round.
All right, Fred.
Yo, did you say he's ranked 97th?
He's got the world rankings.
Yep.
Who the fuck has a rankings going down that far?
They go farther than that. Yeah.
It's like 1 through 10. For everybody else, it's like 1 through 10, and then I don't give a fuck is the rest of them. Right?
I'm not going to jive talk you. When you get beyond the 20s and 30s, I don't know these cats. I don't know shit about neither one of these dudes. So, English, I have to hand it off to you. Tell me you know something about your English brethren.
I know he's going to get beaten.
Oh, ye of little faith.
It's that thing, isn't it? It's the Eastern Europeans. There's always something with them that just got a little bit of grit and a little bit of determination behind them that a lot of Western Europeans don't have. Plus the fact he's Polish and they're taking an awful lot of stick at the moment after Brexit and they need a bit of a break.
Damn. All right. Hey, look, I'm picking Stasiak too, so I guess everyone else is. So.
Well, wait a minute.
Fred,
so are you telling me you're just picking this prick solely based on his nationality?
I think it's to Andy.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Fair enough.
There you go,
For the same reason I don't like ginger people.
Jesus fucking Christ with the ginger.
Old Ron Weasley over there.
And Stasiak is he's the underdog in this fight. Plus 160 underdog. Grant's a favorite. Minus 185, slight favorite.
Yeah, there's just something.
That's the guy I like, the favorite.
The Eastern Europeans, like I say, they've just got a grit and determination. I think that we'll see them through the fight because although it's a home crowd, I don't think the Brits have got that. And there's very few that have got that. I mean, Bisping obviously being one of them, but when you look at it, who else have we produced that has got the ability to just take it and keep walking? Him, Dan Hardy, maybe that's about it. So,
well, in the next fight,
and the guy that's fighting next, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I would say the guy that's fighting next is definitely a candidate in that type of category. Absolutely.
Yeah, and he's talking about Brad Pickett taking on Yuri Alcantara. Brad Pickett's a bad motherfucker, man. Like even that fight against was it Thomas Almeida that knocked him out?
You came close to winning that fight. That's right. He shook him up.
Which weight is this one at? Has he gone back down again?
135.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's bantamweight, and he's taking Alcantara, who's been finished before, if I'm not mistaken. And I think Brad Pickett's got that punch power. He can finish this fight pretty quick. That's who I'm picking. Who are you picking, Andy?
I've got to go for Brad. Got to. He's just, I mean, I think he said, didn't he come out today and say win, lose or draw, he's not retiring because everybody was saying that he should because, has he lost the last two? Is he on 2-fight or lost streak?
I think he won his last fight against Francisco Rivera, which is like a forgotten fight. But yeah, he was on the Silva Bisbing. That's what it was, Silva Bisbing, and that was the last time he stepped out there. It was 227. So yeah, February this past year.
Bloody hell! But I think that he needs to carry on, and I would like him to see with the win. I think he will. I think it's the home crowd will give him the extra, plus the fact Bisping defending his title is going to give him an extra kick as well.
Yeah, I want to see the Brad Pickett walk out, how the crowd reacts. They're gonna blow up when he walks out there for sure. Because Brad Pickett's not only a favorite in his own home country. I'm a Brad Pickett fan. I love seeing that guy fight. You know what I mean? The dude walks out with suspenders and a hat on it. Well, he used to before fucking Reebok. But fucking ready to throw down. Brad, who you picking?
Listen, I like Brad Pickett. I do. But I'm gonna lay out some facts for you boys.
Here we go.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey. Brad Pickett's a bit long in the tooth. All right? Brad Pickett's a bit long in the tooth, and Yuri has a rounded game, and Brad Pickett, I think, has a lower fight IQ.
I disagree with you on that. I think if you notice with Brad Pickett's been doing his commentary for some of the Russian, is it AFN? Mm-hmm. He's been doing some of the commentary for that, and he's been getting everything bang on. So I think he's turned into a bit of a Dan Hardy. The commentary's helping him, and I think his game is going to be a lot better with this fight.
Listen, I don't give a fuck if he commentates on the goddamn moon. His game in
so
the
you don't think that Dominic Cruz got better by commentating? You don't think Bisping got better by commentating? You don't think any of these people got better by sitting back and watching the fights?
Oh. Listen, yeah, okay,
well, shut up,
maybe
then.
He did get a little better. But he's still Dominic Cruz. I don't think Greg Jackson could get in there and tap dance around like that, and he knows a whole bunch.
Yeah, because
Listen, Brad Pickett is a good fucking boxer, a good striker. I think he'll get out-grappled, and I don't think he's smart enough to fight a smart fight. I think he'll get in a firefight, might get clipped, and if he don't get clipped, if he gets drug into a grappling match, it doesn't look good for him. So I'm going to go against the one punch. Second round submission.
All right, Dave, what you got, man?
Yeah, I got to side with Kirby. I think, Pickett's going to be have a nice, ovation for him, that they're going to appreciate him and what he's done for the UFC. He's been in some exciting fights. I mean, you guys mentioned the he was pretty competitive in that bout against who was it? I mean, he's got like fights against, you name him. He's got Brad Pickett's fought them all. He's fought Demetrius Johnson. He has wins over Wilson Hayes. He fought Russell Doan. Russell's on this card. He's fought, dating back to, the WEC days. He's fought Ricardo Lamas. So experience-wise, I mean, he is a bit worn down. I mean, he's just, in that crowd, in that environment in Manchester, I think that'll help him. Yuri Alcantara is going to really make the fight difficult for him. Like Fred said, you'll probably out-grapple him. I see it playing out that way. But Brad Pickett, one punch, I mean, he cracked Thomas Almeida, nearly put out a surging Thomas Almeida, in which he did get put away by Cody Garbrandt. But I think Yuri Alcantara, with the ground attack and just a bit of a higher skill set and still more of the fresher opponent, I think he gets the job done. Ranking-wise, they still have Brad Pickett, number 25 in the world at 135, and Alcantara is number 19. But Alcantara is the slight favorite, minus 165. I'm going with him in this fight. Both these guys, a little bit older. Brad Pickett, 38 years old. Yuri Alcantara, 36 years old. I think it's like 12th or 13th fight for both fighters in this bout.
So Fred's long in the tooth argument about Brad Pickett's a lot of bollocks then.
I think so.
Yeah, I would think Brad Pickett have at least 20 fights under his
2 years. Shut up.
Yeah.
He's shop worn. Okay,
They've had the same number of fights. They've had the same number of fights.
Yeah, but that don't mean that one wasn't easier than the other. Brad Pickett looks like a goddamn old man. That old hat he wears. He's like an old drunk hobo hobbling down to the cage.
Drunk hobo coming from you, old Ron Weasley with
Ron look good right now. I'm
the
green
problem you are.
And don't forget when Brad Pickett did debut in the UFC. Do you guys remember who he lost to?
I was 6.
Yeah, I don't remember. Who did he lose to?
Okay, he was submitted by Mr. Henan Barral, in case you didn't know.
Oh.
Well, I mean, look. First of all, anyone that follows both Andy and Fred are loving this shit right now because they know exactly what's going on. Okay, but whatever. For those that don't, you got to follow both of these guys. It's fucking hilarious. All right, moving on to the next fight. One that a guy that Fred knows. Mirsad Bektic against Russell Doan. Fred, we already know who you're gonna pick, but why?
Well, man, it's been a while since Mirsad Bektic's fought, hasn't it? Like, has he been out for a while or some shit?
Yeah, he's still. Let's see. Last appearance. I mean, it was against Lucas Martins, and it was 2015. It was May 30th, 2015. His last fight.
Yeah, man, I knew it had been a while, but I remember the last fight he fought. He was impressive as shit. I know his ground and pound is vicious as fuck. I remember his striking was a bit one note, but powerful. And from what I can remember of that fight, Lucas Martins is a fucking aggressive fighter too. And dude's a finisher, man. Mirsad Bektic is a fucking finisher, and he's undefeated, right?
Yep. Correct.
Yeah. I'm really high on this kid. I think this kid's going to be a fucking beast in the division. So all day long.
There you go.
Mirsad Bektic.
Now, Andy, if you were picking by nationality, who would you pick in this one?
Oh, dear. I agree with Fred.
Yeah.
I was about to say just about what he was going to say, so yeah, I'd feel sick now.
Look, I'm taking Bektic too. Who are you taking, Dave?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, look at. I'm glad they finally found somebody to step up, but fortunately for Russell Doan, he's got a 3-fight losing streak, so it's really not looking good for him going into this bout because he could find himself in a Bellator uniform or World Series of Fighting after this one. So, but then again, it's something where he's a huge underdog. I mean, we've seen underdogs and upsets just this past weekend in Portland. So, but Mirsad Bektic taking on this guy, he's a huge favorite. He's a minus 750 favorite here. So, American top team guy. There's a couple of them cats on this card. Brad Pickett. There's a numerous fighters on this card. Mike Perry, another guy. So I look for another American top team guy to really tear some shit up here. And I think he's number 22 world. So he's creeping up there. Mirsad Bektic I'm talking about, and look for him to be in probably some big time bouts coming off a nice win here, in which I think he probably gets the job done by finish, KO or TKO, no later than 2 rounds.
All right. And that's exactly how I can see it coming too. Dude's powerful. All right, moving on. Heavyweight bout. Stefan Struve against Daniel. How do you say his last name, Dave?
Omelanchik.
There you go. While you're talking, who you picking?
Yeah, this fight previously was it was a replacement opponent, I think, right? Because Omelanchik is taking the fight on short notice. Last time he fought against like one of those weird like Russian prisoner looking guys. What's his name? Oleski Oleinik was his last fight. He's coming off a win, so he fought over the summer. He earned that win via decision, majority decision, and that was on the McDonald Lineker fight. So I think in this bout here, I mean, he's a real short cat, this Omelanchik. And to go up against Skyscraper Struve, I mean, he's like 7'5" in there, you know what I mean? So that's why I think the size advantage is going to be real noticeable. We all know Struve's capable of knocking anybody out. He holds a KO over Stipe Miocic. He's submitted black belts before. He's a brown belt. He's capable of finishing the fight anywhere it goes. And I think that Omelanchik will welcome the fight if it does go to the ground. I mean, he's pretty much a submission specialist himself. So, but this fight's a real interesting bout. It's a short notice. It's a replacement opponent. I think I got Stefan Struve. I think he's going to showcase a submission in this fight. He's a slight favorite here. He's a -170 favorite. Omelanchik a +145. So, but Stefan Struve is number 13 world in the heavyweight division. So Struve is still kind of right there. He's sort of that dark horse. But win over Omelanchik will probably put him in somewhat of a big time bout. But anything is possible, as what we've been seeing in Portland and what's been playing out. So it could be another night of just upsets, and this would be a major upset if Omelanchik's able to knock off Stefan Struve.
Look, man, every time Stefan Struve's supposed to win, he loses. So I'm picking the other guy. All right, that's all I'm saying. Fucking Struve, every time he's supposed to win, it's like, oh, he's got the height, he's got the reach, all this shit. He manages to find a way to get fucked over. So fuck him. I mean, I'm picking, and I hate to say it, like, Struve was like, he's been around for a while, and he had the heart issue and all that. But I'm taking the foolish guy. To me, easy.
28 years old. That's Struve. You think he's been around forever. He's 28 years old. He's got 27-8 records. So he's been around for a while and fought the who's who in that division. So
he got knocked out a bunch of times. All right, Andy, who are you picking here?
Well, firstly, I want to get this off my chest. Stefan the Skyscraper Struve is one of the worst nicknames in the UFC. I know he's 7 foot tall, but what a fucking... There's a drink in Holland, right, called Orange Boom. And it stands for orange tree. So he's 7 foot tall, so he's a tree. Boom can be a play on words for being a fighter. He should be called Stefan Orange Boom Struve. He can get himself all sorts of free publicity and get round the Reebok deal. And
are you bloody mad?
Oh God, here we go with
Go away.
God.
Orange Boom?
Orange Boom. Yeah, it's a Dutch beer. It's called Orange Tree, the translation, which worked perfectly for him. Secondly, getting onto the fight, I would love to see Struve use his elbows a lot more. Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody knows I love elbows. It's my Muay Thai favourite. And he's got the length. He's got, the precision he uses when he gets in close in the clinch is pretty damn good. And he's pretty good with his knees as well when he gets in against the cage and clinches. But I want to see him just open up with elbows. I really want him to do that. The reach advantage, the height he can come down. I mean, he can crack an axe right on the top of the head. Do also, well, not legally, but he can. There's all sorts of things he can do from there. And I wish he would do a lot more of it. If he does, I think he'll win. If he doesn't, still think he'll win. To be honest, got a thing in my heart for the Dutch people. Love them.
All right, Kirby.
Man, I actually really, really like Stefan Struve, man. When you think about it and you look at all the intangibles he has and the like his strong suits, he's actually good at a lot of shit, man. His offensive jiu-jitsu is fucking great. He's actually a really good striker. I mean, everybody always gives him shit for not using his length very well. And don't get me wrong, he's fucking like 9 feet tall, so he definitely does have potential. But I think what the fuck? He's got a knockout win over our current champion. I know that was a month of Sundays ago, but nonetheless, he did fucking TKO Stipe Miocic. And if I'm not mistaken, he's the only prick to ever accomplish that fucking goal. And he's fucking legit as fuck as a grappler. It seems to me his only problem is just his striking defense. He does get the shit knocked out of himself quite often. And that tends to fucking backfire on you when you're a heavyweight.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been submitted, right?
No, whenever he loses, it's more than that. It's always by TKO or he's got one decision loss. And I think he got subbed many years ago, like in 2007, Fred.
There you go. Like he does.
If you can get inside his range, he's got no chance because his arms are just too bloody long. He's like, he gets caught up in them. So if you step inside his range, that's the problem that he's always got. And people step it. Once you can step inside his range, and he's very, like everybody said, he's not particularly good at using it, although he bloody should be. Then you've got a damn good chance of just cracking him on the chin, which has been, happened quite a few times.
See, and this is what I mean about Stephen Struve. I feel like if that prick could just get his game plan right, yeah, you step inside his zone, and then you're next to fucking a monster. He's fucking 9 feet tall.
No, he isn't.
You know what I mean? He's fucking huge, okay? He's bigger than most guys in the division. If he gets close enough, why can't you teach this fucking prick how to hit a body lock on somebody, drag them to the ground, and fucking sub them? His fucking arms are 30 feet long. He's a huge man. If you get close enough to knock him out, he should be able to take the fight to the ground to where he's got an advantage over most people.
Yeah, did you guys
certainly if he's on top of you.
Did you guys see when he had posted a picture standing next to Francis Ngannou? I mean, he made the guy look like a welterweight, basically, standing next to him.
What's the height difference on these two? Because it looked pretty damn big in the weigh-in.
Of course it is.
About 11 inch. It's about an 11-inch difference.
Yeah, 12.
So,
11.
Yeah. So yeah, the guy is fighting. It's not even like 6.5 foot.
The reach is the same
Listen,
thing. Like
I think that Stephen Struve.
Here we go.
Damn. I think Stephen Struve will win this fight for sure. Like, how far can he actually go in the heavyweight division? I think if he gets his shit together and listen, he's got a knockout win over the champion. I think that Stephen Struve is one of those guys that can beat anybody on the right night. He's huge. He hits hard. He's kind of like Andrew alluded to earlier. When he's going in the clinch and he's landing elbows and knees, he's a fucking animal. And he's got really good grappling. And those fucking long-ass arms and legs, most heavyweights aren't able to grapple like that. And even if they are, they don't got those naturally long fucking limbs.
Yeah.
He's a lot to deal with, man. I think he wins this fight easily. I'll be kind of curious to see what happens next with him. He's a very interesting case at heavyweight where there's not very many interesting fighters, period. Let's be honest.
And that's why he's still around, so it works out.
Yeah, speaking of, you just said it, Eddie. He's still around, and you know how long this guy's been around? I mean, this guy's been around since UFC 95, Diego Sanchez versus Joe Stevenson, and that also took place in the UK. So that was his debut. He lost to Junior Dos Santos. So UFC 195 to 204. Stephen Struve still at 28 years old, still in the mix. So.
Still young as fuck, too. All right, next fight up. Two guys that, of course, we all know about. Ben St. Preux, of course, fought John Jones and got his arm broken by with kicks. This fucker. And then Jimmy Manuwa, still fighting. I completely forgot Jimmy Manuwa was still around. So let's start out here with Kirby. He's got his game face on.
You're disrespectful. You're a disrespectful prick sometimes, Eddie. Oh, Jimmy Manuwa. I forgot he was even alive. Listen,
I didn't say alive. I forgot he was still in the UFC. We'll fucking play.
He's a fucking exciting fighter.
Yes,
and I'll tell you what. This is one of the rare cases on this card where I'm going to be rooting heavily for the Brit. All due respect, I can't stand OSP. And I know he fucking represented himself decently against a coked out John Jones, what have you. But I hope that fucking he gets slept.
Why?
Boy. He's just boring, man. And I know he's got some knockout wins. I know. He knocked out fucking the decrepit Ghost of Shogun. And he's got his little awkward, funky striking style. But if that shit don't work, he reverts back to a fucking boring lay and pray fighter, fucking quick as pie. And I hope he gets fucking TKO'd. And as a matter of fact, I am fucking going to side with the fact that he does get TKO'd in the first round to a raucous British crowd.
All right, Andy.
I disagree with Fred on one thing. I don't think it's going to be a TKO. I think it's going to be a walk-away TKO. A walk-away KO.
Ooh, walk-off knockout. It's pretty good.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. I think Manuwa's just going to walk in there and just take his head off.
Manuwa was way more serious in the stare-down, too, at the weigh-ins. You know, OSP had a big old smile on his face, and Manuwa just stared at him. He didn't nothing, no change. Nothing.
Here's a question for you guys. Do you guys think that OSP will start grappling immediately, or do you think he'll try to be cute and test his hands with Jimmy Manuwa?
I mean, how long is his reach? If his reach is decent enough, he'll try it, and then he'll realize he can't hang and take it to the ground.
The reach is near even.
Oh, okay.
And he did try with John Jones, didn't he? So
that's true. And see, I tell you what, man, I think that'll be a big indicator of the fight. I think that he will. I think that he will overrate his little funky boxing. Was going to piece him up.
Yeah, look, man, I agree with you, and that's why I think OSP is going to take the fight to the ground and take a decision. And it won't be, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be an exciting fight. If Manuel lands a one-hitter quitter and early, that'd be great, right? That'd be an entertaining-ass fucking thing to see. But I think OSP is like, yeah, I'm not going to strike with this guy. I mean, John Jones is bad enough. Manuel's got mad power behind those hands, so I think he takes it to the ground and you know, makes it a long 5-round, just, you know, hump away fight, unfortunately. So
he can definitely do that.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't, but he is more than capable of taking that decision win, and that does fucking blow because you're absolutely right. He could definitely pull that bullshit off.
Yeah, for sure. Dave, you pick? You didn't pick.
Yeah, it's some where, like, you guys made a lot of good points. I mean, I can easily see OSP just grinding him out, you know, really kind of somewhat probably testing his hands against Jimmy Manuwa. I mean, Jimmy Manuwa's been off for a little while. He's been gone for a month of Sundays, as my man Kirby would say. So him coming back in the mix, I mean, in that card in the UK, I mean, I'd love to see him earn a nice TKO, a nice win, you know, in impressive fashion. But I think OSP, we'll see what he learned from the John Jones fight. I think, you know, him suffering that injury and him having to not be able to have his full skill set available. I think there's a couple things he could have done better in the Jones fight, in which that was a real strange John Jones that showed up that night. So, but then again, he did lose the decision handily. So, but I think here, this is a pretty good match. I like that they booked him against Manuwa. I'm kind of favoring OSP by decision just based on just his style and what he likes to do. But I could easily see Manuwa, you know, tagging him up on the feet and it going kind of back and forth. But I'll have to go with the OSP in this one. I think he probably gets a finish in there, but I think it could be a war for 3 rounds. OSP either way.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I'm taking OSP by decision. That's just it, you know. So.
Because with Manuwa's only setbacks being Gus and Johnson, I mean, he's pretty much, you know, he's number 10 in the world, in which OSP is number 6. Already fought John Jones. You know, a lot of these guys are somewhat tied to, you know, like I said, Gus, Anthony. There's only a few at the top, in which OSP will always be tied to John, and he gets a good win here. He can rise back up and possibly compete for the belt over the year of 2017, possibly.
There you go. All right, moving on to the co-main event of the evening. 2 names, one a legend and a guy that's for some reason ignored, in my opinion, but still. Vitor Belfort taking on Gegard Mousasi. Mousasi did fight at UFC 200 and finished, was it Thiago Santos? Like, in, like, ridiculous fashion, just fucked his world up. And at the weigh-ins, one of my favorite things was at the actual weigh-ins, not the little, you know, fake ones. He got on the scale, and he got off the scale trying to walk away, and the media's like, oh, no, come back for pictures. He got out there and just double bird these motherfuckers, just flipped them over, flipped everybody off. I like Gegard for that. Because remember, Gegard went on the microphone last time that he had a boring fight, or, you know, people were booing it, and he was just like saying, you know, fuck all of you. This is how you get done in this bitch. So it is what it is. Meanwhile, Vitor Belfort, of course, still post-TRT guy, still has a nasty first round in him. You know what I mean? If he's going to finish, he's going to be in the first round, it seems. So it's an interesting fight. It's a little weird that it's coming to me, but still, interesting fight. Andy, who are you picking?
First off, what I want to mention is the fact that don't forget the Europeans on this card, and the likes of Mousasi and the likes of Manuwa. They're on European time. You've got all the Americans, and including Bisping, because obviously he lives out in California. They're all still on US time. So they're at the moment, they're fine with the time. These guys are actually going to be fighting physically, as far as they're concerned, at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know whether that's going to have a bearing on things, whether, you know, some of the guys might actually be, you know, almost jet lagged, and that'll be the Europeans. It will be in effect the US are fighting jet lagged Europeans. So I don't quite know how that'll bear out, to be honest. But with regard to this fight, I'm a lover of Gegard Mousasi. Like you said, Eddie, I think he's highly underrated by most people. So I think it gets to the point where Vitor will come out and do his little blitz like he normally does, because that's all he can do. Blow himself out, and Gegard will just smother him. He'll just actually take him against the cage and just smother him like he's done so many opponents before. Yeah,
definitely. And look, Gegard's hard to hit, man. I don't know why people don't, you know, look at this guy and they say, oh, you know, he's boring. I'm like, dude, he's hard to hit. He's very difficult to get to. He moves very well, and he uses his length to his advantage. He's taller than a lot of heavyweights, longer than a lot of heavyweights, or I'm sorry, middleweights. But yeah, I mean, I'm picking Gegard too. Whether or not
I love his poker face. His poker face is brilliant.
Dude, that's one of my favorite things about him. His expression never changes ever.
Yeah.
Like once in a while, you get him to crack a smile, but it's mostly followed by like a middle finger. But I'm picking Gegard just off the fact that dude's just one of the most underrated fighters out there, and I can see him fighting for the belt pretty damn soon, to be honest with you. But Kirby, who you picking?
As much as it pains me, I got to totally agree with Andrew on this one. Look, man, I think Mousasi is incredibly underrated too, man. And like you said, man, we all know Vitor going Vitor, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to come out and he's going to have his little blitz in the beginning. But Mousasi is incredibly durable. I hate saying that somebody got lucky in MMA because if you're in there fighting a man and I fucking throw my foot or my hand at your face and it hits you in the face, well, there ain't nothing really fucking lucky about that now, is there? Right. I tried to hit you and I fucking hit you. Fuck, that ain't luck. That being said, I think that what's the prick's name that caught Mousasi in his last fight or the fight before last?
Uriah Hall.
Yeah. I think Uriah Hall got lucky, dog. I think Mousasi beats him 99 times out of 100. And I think that, listen, we all know Vitor can win this fight, and anybody that knows fuck all about MMA knows how he'll win. If Vitor wins this fight, it'll be in the first 2 or 3 minutes, or at the very least the first round. If it makes it out of the first round, Vitor's fucked. Gegard Mousasi has a lot more of a well-rounded game. He's an animal on the ground with his ground and pound and his grappling. Once Vitor gets tired, he is going to be fucked. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go as far as to say I think Gegard's going to have a little fun with him. Because I think Vitor, if I'm not mistaken, Gegard's been calling Vitor out for a long time. He's been trying to get this fight forever, and it just kept not lining up. Now he's got it. I think that he'll weather an early storm. At the end of the first round, he'll start taking over. And then I think he'll take him down in the second round and throw him a nice little beating before finally submitting him in the second round. But I think he's going to punish Vitor a little bit and try to, send a statement to the rest of the division. Because Gegard's kind of that forgotten man. You know what I'm saying? Like, 85's got a whole lot of shit going on right now. We all know the 4-man tournament. We all know the main event, the fucking champion, Michael Bisping, which we're about to talk about next. But Gegard's right there, man. If he could snuff out Vitor, he throws his hat right in the ring with the rest of those guys. And rightfully so. He's good enough to be in that mix. So, hard all day. I mean, unless Vitor catches him super early, this is definitely Mousasi's fight to lose.
Right, and look, if Gegard finishes Vitor in like spectacular fashion, please believe he gets to jump that line. You know what I mean? He could possibly jump that line and get ahead of everybody else and get that title shot pretty damn soon.
I can picture Gegard. He will. I can picture Gegard bouncing Vitor's head off the cage just like Bisping did to Rockhold in his fight.
The second punch was nasty.
Yeah, I can just see that happening with Mousasi.
God, I had forgotten about that punch. That thing hit Rockhold so hard. Rockhold's head went flying out of the cage.
Yeah, there's that one angle where that last punch and it just bounced off the cage.
That was crazy. Dave, who you picking? Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay.
Oh, okay. Dave?
Yeah, I mean, you guys pointed out a lot of good things about this fight. I got to side with Gegard Mousasi. I've been high on the guy for many years. He's the youngest 31-year-old fighter in the UFC. He's got a ton of fights. On the side of Belfort, I mean, he's the original kill or be killed style. I mean, you guys mentioned the first round rampage, which I expect him to come out with, but I think Gegard's going to, be a smart fighter. He's going to probably pressure him up against the fence, tire him out a bit, and a little bit maybe toy with Vitor. Vitor hasn't looked any sort of what he used to be. I mean, he did have, it's weird how he has wins over the two guys in the main event, Hendo and Bisping, but that was the old fucking TRT Vitor. But Vitor's fought them all. Like I said, it's something where Vitor's going to go out in the shield. He's either going to get pounded out, choked out, or he's going to land a huge fucking kick and, in Vitor-esque fashion against Mousasi. But Mousasi, I don't think is going to, leave that opening. He's a fucking hard guy to hit. He's got that sleeper, like King Cobra style, where he looks just bored as shit in there, and he'll light your fucking ass up quick. You know what I mean? So that's why Gegard's going to be in a weird place, though, guys. If he wins this fight here, not necessarily does he have the front row ticket to the belt, because I mean it benefits him being on the card with Bisping, though. It really does help him if he does get a big win here. But I think going forward with the Weidman situation at 205 and Rockhold, he might be in that like Max Holloway territory, Gegard. But if they can't really deny the guy if he does shred up Vitor and finish him. But Vitor's coming off a beating that he took down in Brazil from Jacare, and it wasn't that long ago. So Vitor is pretty worn down at this point. So I think Gegard's super fresh, coming off an effortless looking fucking win over a tough bastard in Thiago Santos. So, but yeah, definitely favored Gegard Mousasi. I think he showcases a nice win, and if Vitor does win, it's going to be by a kick. Let's leave it at that.
And also, Vitor Belfort's got the best double gyno in the UFC.
Fred?
What'd you say, Fred?
Mousasi is not going to get a title shot, that's for sure. Even I don't give a fuck if he comes out and thunder strikes Vitor with the strike from the gods. Yeah. He's still behind a nice little line.
Yeah, middleweight Max Holloway territory is where he'd find himself at in a win here.
Yeah, I mean, there's too much shit going on right above him. I mean, don't get me wrong. He'll be fighting probably the loser of one of those big fights if he gets an impressive win here. And he'll be right in the mix. But, like, 85 is clogged right now. And depending on what happens in the main event, it's going to get even more clogged. So,
yeah, true that. That's why it sort of benefits him that he's on the same card with Bisping and Hendo, and beating a guy that beat both of them cats and can really benefit him. But the 185 division, we've talked about it a lot of times, guys, and advocates, and on these pre-shows, it's sort of leading into this four-man type tourney deal, in which we'll see if it gets much bigger as we get into the main event and figure out what's going to play out with Mr. Bisping and old Dan Henderson.
Yeah. Talk amongst yourselves. I am going to go and get my charger because my phone's going to run out.
All right.
Listen, but while he's doing that, I was just going to say, but before we get off this fight, while he's charging his phone, where does Vitor go if he loses?
Home.
Yeah.
All bullshit aside, like, is that it for Vitor at this point? I mean, especially if it's like a nasty loss. I mean, at least in the UFC.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you exactly where he goes. Vitor's wife, and he said it that he's fighting now basically just for love of MMA, and he's not really compensated and paid as good as he used to be. So imagine a fucking Vitor Belfort, Chael Sonnen and Bellator fight. You know what I mean? Like, they'll pay him a grip of money to fucking do that fight, and they'll do it any chance they get, and they'll snatch him up. But highly unlikely. But hey, it's about the money. You know what I mean? So Vitor has said that he's kind of just he's not paid through many sponsors anymore, or only those that have stuck with him the length of his career somewhat. But I think if you factor in the money deal, I wouldn't be shocked if you've seen fucking Vitor Belfort against old Chael Sonnen or Risen. Who knows? There's a couple options now.
But do you think that if he loses, we will not see him in the UFC next?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we see Vitor in the UFC again.
Dude, that guy's not going to quit.
He'll go off to Rising.
Or that,
yeah. He'll get pumped up and go off to Rising. That's exactly what he'll do.
He'll get paid better than the UFC because he said he doesn't get paid well from the UFC, and it's Vitor Belfort we're talking about. So,
I don't know. His bloody house is big enough.
Shit, that's true. He's got a good point. All right, one of the main event of the evening.
Up in there, being nasty, licking his wife's toes.
You wish you had that.
Have y'all seen that video?
Fair play to you. Took over an hour to get to
that. All right, main event time, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Bisping defending his belt against Dan Henderson. This is the second fight between the two. Of course, you guys remember the highlight. Hendo dropping that right hand, knocking out Mr. Bisping. And then the flying right hand that became his logo or his brand, whatever it is, that kind of pissed off Bisping, actually. And so now we get to do it again. I think 7 years later. I think it's been 7 years since that fight over at UFC 100. Now they get to do it for 204 for the belt. For Hendo, it's like a storybook ending, right? He wins, gets the belt, walks up into the sunset, calls it a day. Bisping wins, what happens then, right? I mean, Andy, I kind of already know who you're going to pick, but what do you think about this fight?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Bisping. It's the thing with Bisping is he's evolved. He's got one guy in his corner that's just improved him immensely. and he's a game merchant when it comes to planning things. He planned the Rockhold fight brilliantly. They knew how Rockhold would just keep his chin up and drop his right shoulder. Jason Perillo is just a master. And everybody knows how Hendo fights. It hasn't changed in 20 years. I mean, okay, he was, we were all gobsmacked with the elbow knockout in his last fight. But Bisping's got too many chips in his deck now. God, that's a double. Yeah, never mind. But he's in a position now where Jason Perillo's just improved him as a fighter so much. I mean, everybody forgets about his jiu-jitsu. He's a damn good jiu-jitsu fighter. That's basically where he started. He's been out in Phuket with ATT, I think, and he's been out at Senchai Muay Thai Gym. His Muay Thai is pretty damn good. Everybody knows he can fight for weeks and weeks and weeks. If bloody Joe Rogan was commentating on this, we'd be taking bets on how quickly he told us about Bisping's resting heart rate. Because that's the first thing he says. But I think Bisping's just too clever now. He's got wiser. Hendo's just stuck in his ways. And if he avoids that H-bomb, then I think it's going to be TKO within 3 rounds on Bisping.
All right. Kirby, who you picking?
You know what, man? I kind of disagree with you, English. I don't think
Dude, fuck off.
Look at that. You took that well, didn't you? Listen, I don't think that he has evolved all that much. I don't think...
Oh, bollocks.
I don't think he has, man. I think you guys are making too much of this shit, okay? I like fucking Jason Perillo as much as the next guy. But this whole fucking... They knew Luke Rockhold's left hand was going to be down. Listen, Luke Rockhold was out fucking snorting, blowing fucking whores, all right? He took fucking Michael Bisping very lightly.
Yeah, and Bisping was out on the film set, so yeah, shut up.
Yeah, with the fucking film set. Listen, if they fought 100 times, Bisping gets thunderstruck 98.5. Okay? Bisping got lucky. He is listen, I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. He's been a great character. He's been fun to watch. And I'll be a son of a bitch if the cockeyed motherfucker didn't end up getting the belt before he retired. But he got that belt on a fluky-ass win. Okay? A fluky win. And now he's got to avoid one punch for 25 minutes. And quite frankly, all the pressure is on Bisping. Because you just said it. Everybody assumes that Dan Henderson's old, that he's stuck in his way, that he's the same thing. Bisping somehow is the favorite in this fight, even though he straight got snuffed last time.
Look, Bisping,
fucking Hendo's
for God's
coming
sake,
off.
Hendo, before he goes out on to fight, he's got to have one man stand on his feet and one man stand on his head just to fucking straighten him out, for God's sake.
Yeah, and it don't fucking matter. If he lands one fucking punch on Bisping's anything, Bisping is fucking talking to the birdies. I think Bisping will avoid it for a while, but eventually he's going to get clipped. It's 5 rounds. It's too long to get away.
Yeah, he's 5 rounds and Hendo's 46.
And listen, let's all be fucking honest. Michael Bisping being the man does not feel right. It feels like we're in the Twilight Zone, man. The MMA gods are not happy with this.
Go back to sleep then and wake up and see if it's different. Oh, for fuck's sake.
They're not happy with this, Andrew. The MMA gods are not happy with this. Okay? They're going to make it right for us. They're going to have Hendo snuff Bisping.
No, they're not.
And then Hendo's going to go away because he don't deserve to be the champion either.
Completely fuck the division up. Yeah, exactly.
No, enough with it. It's going to inspire a bunch of fucking... Yo, bullshit. It's going to make the division exciting. It's more exciting than it's been in...
We've got fucking interim champions all over the place, champions that don't defend at their own weight, and now we're going to have who knows what? Fuck Jesus. Makes it interesting. Bollocks, it makes it a mess.
It most certainly does not.
Of course it does. What are you going to do, have a 4-man tournament?
What the fuck? That's exactly what we're going to do.
But we won't have one.
But
it won't be a tournament. It'll be that such and such will fight such and such, and then the next UFC, the other two will fight, and then win. No, we want a proper tournament. If that's what we're going to end up with, if Hendo wins this fight and then walks away and leaves the belt, we want a 4-man tournament. 1 night 4-man tournament to decide who wins.
With your barbaric
because he fucked it completely. Everything's fucked at the moment. We know we're getting annoyed that people are jumping the queue to fight for titles, and then you get Hendo jumping the queue in the first place, and then saying that he's going to retire anyway. It's a waste of fucking time
because
if he does that.
Bisping lucked into the spot. Listen, we all know he ain't the best middleweight on earth. He got lucky. I'm sorry.
He didn't get lucky. He didn't get lucky at all.
No, but how do you get lucky?
Stop it.
I mean, he did exactly what his coach told him to do. I mean, they talked about it afterwards. That left hand dropped exactly where it's supposed to be.
All right, you cute pricks. If he was fighting Luke Rockhold tomorrow, would you bet your pricks on Michael Bisping?
Yes.
In Manchester, yeah.
Good. I would. Oh, really? All you cute cocksuckers, huh? You guys, fine. Pick him from me. I'm picking Hendo motherfucking Kaboom to reset the middleweight division. Thank you, fucking MMA Zeus.
Put your man bun on it then.
Oh, jeez.
Of course not.
Yeah, well, there you go then. Shut the fuck up. Until you're brave enough to put that on any fight, it's pointless.
That'd be ridiculous.
It's pointless and worthless listening to you.
That fucking got crazy real fast. Dave, who you picking, man?
Man, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things, lining up for this bout. I mean, it took place, UFC 100. I mean, as I mentioned before we went live, Dan Henderson, he's fought at UFC 17 back in the day. He fought twice that night, and here we are, UFC 204. So Hendo's been around forever. He's fought everybody. He's coming off the vicious fucking finish of Hector Lombard, which was very unexpected, which put him in this position to fight Bisping. So I think Bisping probably could have took another opponent, but props to him for taking this fight and wanting to, try to get this one back from Hendo. And it sets up a fantastic middleweight title fight. Bisping's got a 4-fight streak coming in. I think after the Kung Lee win, when he knocked the shit out of him, I think Bisping was sort of on his tear then. He had the setback from Rockhold, in which he earned that one back. So I think coming into this fight, he's confident he'll be sharp. Jason Perillo, if they're really looking at how to put Dan Henderson out and Bisping via knockout, they probably were looking at a lot of the tape of the Gegard-Mousasi fight, because what Gegard did to Dan Henderson in that fight, that fucking was devastating. So, and I think that'll be something where, possibly Bisping by knockout, it'll be by a counter shot, similar to the way he put Rockhold out. But 27th UFC bout for Bisping. It'll be historic for both guys. Bisping will break some records in the process. I know he's doing a short camp for this fight. He said that he's sort of the same approach for Rockhold. He's actually filming another movie, and he's coming into his bouts very similar. So Hendo on the other side, hearing him, the media rounds that he's made and the press conference and all that, the Q&A, he just seems like he's cool in the moment. He knows that it's his last time out there. It's the last time we're going to see Dan Henderson win, lose, or draw. But we've talked about it a lot of times on the show, like Fred mentioned, with Hendo winning, it's going to set up, just a reset to the middleweight division, basically. So if that takes place, I mean, it's going to be storybook ending on both sides, because Bisping in his hometown in Manchester. So it's really it's a win-win. I mean, I wish Jesse was here to state that, because I know he would. It's a win-win on both sides. We get Hendo winning. It's pretty much a whole new middleweight division. Bisping wins and possibly retires, or he sets himself up in that position where he could pursue a money fight or something crazy like that, fighting George St. Pierre, the shit that he's saying. But I think it's going to be a very fucking interesting main event. I think Bisping probably, I don't know if it's going to go the distance. I don't think he's going to have to avoid the H-bomb for that long, but it's going to Dan Henderson's going to be real tough in there the first couple rounds. I think it's going to go at least 3 rounds, in which I think Bisping overwhelms him. And Eddie, you've talked about it before, and we know that Bisping's cardio is just off the charts. He's one of those type guys, and I think if his game plan is on point and he's able to outlast Dan, I mean, I just think that he just probably picks him apart. I think Henderson's got that H-bomb shot. Everybody knows he's got that, but Bisping brings more tools to the table. And like I said, I mentioned the Gegard-Mousasi fight. So if Jason Perillo is looking at that fight, that's going to be pretty much what Hendo's going to try to do in a similar guy in Gegard-Mousasi against Bisping. So, but I know in the moment when we're all watching it, it's going to be like, when is that Dan Henderson shot going to land? It's going to be, imminent. We're going to be expecting it, but I hate to tell you guys, it's not going to land. And I think Bisping picks him apart. Yeah,
look, man, Dan Henderson's a fucking zombie. Okay, you can knock him down, he'll pop back up and keep fucking fighting. I know, Bisping's got the cardio and all that, and Bisping's actually very much improved in just the last couple of years, in fact. So, however, I mean, how long can you avoid Henderson's right hand, though? You know what I mean? I just think, maybe it's because I want to see a storybook ending, but I'm picking Henderson by knockout, man. It's going to be that shuffle, H-bomb, good night shot. and we reset the 185 division. Now, it might not happen, but I think Henderson drops him. I really do. And it would be sad for Bisping for that to happen to him at home. Really.
Did you guys just pick Michael Pillow Hands Bisping?
Oh, here we fucking go.
TKO Dan fucking Iron Jaw Henderson.
Iron Jaw. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you see the way Gegard finished him?
Exactly. As Dave said.
Jesus
What's
fucking
that?
Christ, because he got knocked out by Vitor Belfort, could you fucking knock out
Exactly.
a goddamn horse?
Exactly. Iron Jaw, and you just named two people that have knocked him out.
Hair as hard as Vitor Belfort.
Oh Jesus! All right.
Wake up, Fred.
All right.
What's strange about what's strange about Bisping? It's like you kind of see it when he's talking to the media. Like he wants to be a dick to Henderson and be Bisping, like talk the shit that he does, but he's pretty calm and he's pretty respectful. You know what I mean? So come fight time tomorrow, guys. Glove touching and all that type of shit. Do you think Bisping sort of changes it up when it's finally time to fucking get it? What do you guys think?
Shit, the worst that he did was poke him in the stomach and say, "You're kind of soft now, aren't you?" That's literally the worst thing he said.
Yeah, that's why I said that's not customary to Bisping. We all know Bisping at every weigh-in. He's saying, "Fuck you, I'm gonna beat your fucking ass," and this and that. So that's something where I think it's weird.
He knows what time it is, boys. He knows.
That's why I mentioned it, man. That's
the
why
jig is up.
Have you ever seen a full-on Manchester crowd baying for blood?
No.
You will tomorrow night, and I'll tell you what, that will just bring the roof down. And Bisping he'll just no, you got fuck off, Fred. No.
Hey, and his kids picked against him. So last time his kiddos picked against him against Rocco, so it's like a ritual
his
thing.
young son always picks against him. That's the funny thing. His eldest son and his daughter always pick him, but his youngest son's no, Dad.
Listen, all bullshit aside, before we wrap this shit up, man, I will say that I am happy for Bisping. He talked. He's been kind of a guy that's easy to hate throughout his career, but it seems like the last couple of years he's been pretty genuine. He's been pretty straight up, and I gotta say, man, honestly, I literally did laugh at that dude a year or two ago when he talked about being the middleweight champion.
Yeah.
And like I think that was like right after the Rockhold loss, where he just kind of got, or the Tim Kennedy loss or something, where it was just like, yeah, right, bruh. There's no way. And the fucker did it, man. He persevered. I still think the cute little prick got lucky. I still think Luke Rockhold throws him a beating if they ever fight again. But be all that as it may, when they fought that time, Bisping fucking nutted up and knocked his funny ass out, man. So, like, no matter what happens, even if he does lose, all bullshit aside, man, Bisping does deserve credit for fucking having an unwavering ability to believe in himself, man. Like, he had definitely hit the bottom and took a couple bad L's. And the cute prick, like, even after those L's, like, immediately was like, this ain't nothing. I'm going to come back. I'm going to win that title. It's my destiny. Like, I literally LOL'd at the guy. And I'll be a son of a bitch.
My ideal solution, end into this, would be that Bisping, and we said it before the show, is the fact that Bisping wins. It's a hard fight. It goes pretty much the distance. They both, like, hug it out in the middle, and they both retire. They both put their gloves in the middle of the ring, and they walk away. Bisping won't, because if he does win, he's gonna want more money fights. But that to me would be like he's reached the pinnacle. He's got where he wants to. He's defending it in his hometown. He's defended it against the guy and won against the guy that's infamous for just knocking him into a bloody ironing board. That would be perfect. As far as an English UFC fan and a Bisping kind of not always been a fan, that's how I'd like to see it end.
So okay. Well, first off, I don't think you're right. If Bisping wins, he ain't going nowhere, Jack. I think Henderson will retire, win or lose or draw, but I don't think Bisping's going nowhere. So quickly, before we wrap this up, that's an interesting point. I think Bisping's going to get snubbed. But let's just say the cute little prick actually pulls it off, and he fucking does stop Dan Henderson with strikes. Now, we've got a very interesting conundrum, because we've got two very deserving fights. Either, you got Romero and Weidman in New York, and then I don't know when exactly, but right around that same time frame, you got Rockhold and Jacare. Now, who gets the fucking first crack at Bisping? Which one of those guys? Like, do you just do whoever wins most impressively?
Well, wasn't the first name that Bisping mentioned that he would give it to was Jacare? That before it all blew up that he wanted Henderson, the first name he said was the most deserving out of everybody in the division was Jacare. So if he gets through, I think it'll be him.
I think Bisping takes on all comers. I think he's just that type of guy. And if he fucking sleeps Henderson, I mean, it's kind of going to be like the end of the movie Independence Day when they finally fucking shoot the plane goes into the middle of the mothership and he fucking did it. That's basically what it's going to be like. You know what I mean? But him going forward, I think he's him and Weidman have been going back and forth. So if Weidman's impressive, he's pretty much said that Weidman's a fucking crybaby and shit. So Weidman's got a lot to prove out there against Yoel because, in my opinion, Yoel Romero was the guy for the shot. Had he not got suspended, he could be the fucking champion right now. So, but like Andrew mentioned, Jacare was the guy that they offered to Rockhold. He didn't want that fight. Bisping took it. Here he is with the gold in Manchester. So,
what about GSP?
Well, Gegard. If you guys are talking the middleweight tournament, I got to throw Gegard.
Right. But Andy just said if Bisping wins, he's gonna want money fights. GSP's a money fight.
Yep.
GSP ain't happening. That GSP and Bisping isn't. That's not real, dog. That shit ain't. There ain't no way that shit's going down.
Not even possible.
No, I don't think. I highly doubt it. I just don't think they'll waste GSP's return on Bisping. Those are two different big fights on their own. That doesn't make much sense.
It won't be GSP's return. That's pretty much imminent from what everybody's saying.
Anderson Silva, that fight's already there. I think it's pretty much that's the main event.
Yeah, and Bisping being if he keeps the 85 belt, why the fuck would George fight him at 85? That doesn't make no sense, man.
Yeah, but what makes sense at the moment anyway?
Right. Listen, I think it's going to come down to whoever wins most impressively. I guess if you have two really impressive wins, then you got a really weird conundrum. But if one of those fights happens to be really close or slightly lackluster, and then Romero just comes out and fucking blitzes Weidman or whatever, I think that they'll kind of go with whoever's got most steam coming out of either one of those fights.
Yeah, because a third Rockhold fight wouldn't make sense. I mean, with Bisping, I guess not. I don't know. He's got to be impressive against Jacare, though. But
the last one was the third one, apparently, wasn't it?
Second fight.
Well, no,
not according to Bisping.
Well, honestly, if
you know what, I gotta hit the guy though. I do like that prick.
Yeah, well, he's the champ right now, and that's why he did take it. Like you guys are saying, or Fed has said, like it was pretty much it just lined up for him to step in which Jacare could have been that guy. And then we're talking about a whole different scenario with Jacare holding the gold because a Brazilian guy holding. No, go for it.
So quickly then, let's do this real quick before we go. Jacare, Rockhold, who wins?
Rockhold.
Jacare.
Woo!
I got Jacare.
Damn, I'm the one picking Rockhold. All right.
After getting,
I like Rockhold too, Eddie. I like Rockhold too. Now, quickly, Weidman, Romero. Who do you guys think wins?
Romero, because Weidman's not going to make it to that fight.
Oh yeah, that's. I like how you said that, Eddie. But I got to go with Yoel. I've been strong on Yoel for a long time, so I like to see him in that title contention.
Andrew?
Romero.
Okay, now, this is my point. I agree with you guys. I think that Romero will win that fight too, and I think he might even get a first-round stoppage possibly. Mm-hmm. I don't want to shit on Chris Weidman, but maybe he was slightly overrated. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I feel like the Luke Rockhold and Jacare fight will be more competitive. Either way, no matter who comes out on top, it will be more competitive. I feel like Yoel has the potential to just steamroll Weidman. And if Jacare and Rockhold is competitive to where it's a split decision in either way, I think they might fuck around and go with Yoel if he can get like a first-round stoppage in Madison Square Garden on a big card like that.
I agree with that. With Gegard as a black horse, straight up.
Yeah, there you go. And we always got Gegard. Watch Vitor fucking kick Gegard's head off and ruin all of our fucking plans.
That would suck, dude. I don't want to see Vitor fight for the title again. Although
I know.
Hey, imagine though if Bisping wins, if Bisping Vitor.
Oh, he can kick his other eye out, can't he?
Pretty much, right? Fix it up. Or maybe fix it, put it back straight. Who knows? All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we go?
Yeah,
Nope,
no,
that's
be
it, man.
Bisping
That's
with
the
that.
card.
Yeah, you guys mentioned that eye injury, Eddie, like you said. That's something to keep in mind because Bisping winning, he said that they can't complete the process of him repairing his eye until he's done fighting the detached retina.
Yeah.
So basically, when he walks away, it's when he's actually going to, get that fixed up. And I think, hey, it makes all sense for him, in a big win in Manchester, retire, spend some time with the family, and it'll be the biggest fucking storybook win in UFC. It's one of them. It will be one of them.
And he certainly can't be in the position with that eye to star in all the movies that he's doing at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's in the movie business now.
No. He would have a great career as a bad guy in movies. As a fucking bad guy. Put him as a bad guy in every movie. That one
he's
eye
playing,
would be like, yep.
Have you seen the role he's playing now?
He's in that Triple X movie, The Return of Xander Cage or something.
Yeah, but he's actually filming another one at the moment in London, which is the life story of Lenny McLean. If you've never heard of Lenny McLean, look up Lenny McLean.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you've ever seen Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, you've seen Lenny McLean.
Yeah. I love it.
And if he wins here, and if Bisping wins here, it's going to be up for debate. I guess him and Connor will probably be the next guys for the James Bond villain, I guess, if it's the movie business here.
Fuck no. Jesus Christ. We're not having a potato goblin as a fucking James Bond. That's not happening. And two, we're not having a goggle-eyed mank either.
Oh, and don't forget, I guess Connor gave that movie role to Bisping. So, thanks to Connor,
Conor McGregor couldn't have played Lenny McLean. Piss off.
That's great.
Don't get him started on Connor.
Hey, Connor's in video games now, so it's what it is.
No.
Yeah.
He's in new Call of Duty. All right. Well, it's going to do it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Thanks to Fred, Dave, and Andy, of course, for tuning in. I know it's super early, late, whatever word do you want to use for that, Andy.
It is now, fuck knows what it is. 5 o'clock, something like that.
God damn.
Hang on.
Beast.
Yeah, bang on 5 o'clock in the morning.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. You can catch this card tomorrow night on pay-per-view for everyone here, for everyone in the UK and everywhere else. Apparently it's free. Is it still free over there?
If you subscribe to BT Internet, then yeah, all the UFC fights are free.
Is it expensive or not?
£20 a month it costs us.
Yeah. I mean,
and
it's
then,
better.
Yeah, and then in that you get all the UFC events.
There you go. It's better than what we're doing over here with over 60 bucks in fucking pay-per-view.
Per pay-per-view.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, it works out in grand total. It costs us 240 quid a year basically for every UFC pay-per-view.
Killer deal right there.
I'm fucking glad you said that. Can we get a share and a like on this video? And let me tell you something else. All you fucking crybaby Brits out there, ooh, it's always so late when the card comes on. Well, what the fuck? You get the cards for bloody free. So piss off with your crybaby asses.
You finished dribbling there, have you?
No. That's some bullshit. 120 a year.
You can save all that
last month on this.
You can save all that gunk in your beard with your dinner as well. Go on.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's why you got to stay up till 5 in the morning to watch your hometown hero fight. You mouthy prick.
Win, not fight. Win.
There it is. There it is.
Ooh, right. Ooh. You just ruined it there.
Jinxed it. Come on now. All right.
Jinxed it.
You can follow Kirby at Kirby_MMA. Dave is at Dave's MMA Brief. Andy, you want to throw yours out there?
Piss knows what it is. I haven't got a clue.
Oh, it's like at Revelation 197.
Revelation, some shit.
137. Revelation 137.
There you go.
But don't follow me. I don't like it.
Hey, follow me at Eli31. Pages at Crossroads MMA, and of course the MMA Advocates every Wednesday. Don't forget that we do this stuff fun, and it's live and it's fun. Anyway, all right, catch you guys later. Have fun watching UFC 204.